Charges and magnetism. In this chapter, we will study about the motion of charges and value of magnetic field at a point due to a current carrying conductor. We have studied in our 10th class about magnetic effects of current. Magnetic effect of current is that when a current carrying conductor is having current in a wire or in a conductor, then the magnetic field is produced around it. It is in the form of imaginary concentric circles, and the presence of this magnetic field around a wire is observed by scientist Hans Christian Ørsted. He brought one magnetic needle near to the wire and observed that the needle deflects. So, according to his observations, when no current is flowing through a wire and magnetic needle is placed below the wire, then there is no deflection in the needle. Magnetic needle has two poles. The side which is red painted is known as North Pole and the other hand is South Pole. And about the direction, if we consider this as a North Pole, then the right of this north is east. So the remaining will be obvious. That is, if you take this as a North Pole, then right of the north is east. So remember this, and when the current will flow, that is key is on, then current will flow and the needle will deflects towards west direction when it is placed below the wire. And if polarity is changed, then the deflection will be towards east. Needle placed below the wire. Similarly, he observed that when needle is placed above the wire, then opposite deflection will be seen. Now the deflection is towards west, east, when the current is passing from south to north, and when polarity changes, then the deflection will be towards west. So these are the magnetic needle deflection because of the presence of magnetic field due to the flow of current in a wire. This is also given by Ampere's swimming rule. According to this rule, let us suppose a person is swimming along the current carrying wire. And the current is flowing or entering through his feet and leaving through his head, then the deflection of the magnetic needle is given by his left hand. So here the deflection, when the person is below the wire, then the deflection is towards west. And when the polarity changes, then this will be his left hand, and the polarity changes and the current enters through the feet and leaving through head. So the polarity changes, it shows east direction. This can be remembered by the word snow, that is, when current entering from south to north and wire is placed over the magnetic needle or a person, the needle shows deflection towards west. These are the important words: south, north, over, west. So we can remember this also by Ampere's swimming rule. Magnetic field. We have learned in earlier classes that magnet attracts small pieces of iron and any metal or alloy. In this chapter, we have studied that due to magnetic effect of current, a current carrying conductor produces magnetic field. That is, a current carrying conductor has some magnetic properties. So, magnetic field is denoted by B, capital B, and it's a vector quantity. Magnetic field is also known as magnetic induction, magnetic flux density, magnetic strength, and when we are calculating magnetic field in a for a small length, then it is denoted by a small d v vector. Now next topic is magnetic Lorentz force. Here we will calculate the value of a force uh, which is acting on a charge which placed in a uniform magnetic field. So let us consider a uniform magnetic field in which a charge is placed and moving with some velocity v. Velocity of charge is making an angle theta with magnetic field. So the components of velocity is perpendicular component and horizontal component. Perpendicular component is v sine theta, and this is horizontal component v cos theta. So according to Lorentz force, magnitude of force is directly proportional to the charge placed in a magnetic field. Magnitude of force is directly proportional to the uniform magnetic field, and magnitude of force is directly proportional to the component sine theta, v sine theta. On combining these three factors, we get magnitude of force is proportional to qvb sine theta, or F is equal to k qvb sine theta. K is a proportionality constant. Its value is 1. Therefore, F is equal to F is equal to qvb sine theta is its magnitude form. And we can write it in vector form also. Its value is F vector is equal to qv cross b. This is called magnetic Lorentz force. That is, charge experiences a force due to a uniform magnetic field. And if electric field is also exist, then the force experienced by a charge is Q into electric field. We have done this in chapter number 1. So electromagnetic force, Lorentz force, is F is equal to QE plus QV cross P. That is, we can write it as Q E vector plus V cross P. Lorentz electromagnetic force. Now as F is equals to QV cross P, by this we can study various values of forces when theta is equal to 0 degree or 180 degree. Then, as we know, sine 0 is 0 and sine 180 degree is also 0. Therefore, force experienced by a charge is 0. That is, if charge is moving parallel to magnetic field or anti-parallel to magnetic field, there is no force experienced by charge. And when theta is equal to 270 degree, then the force experienced is sine 270 is minus 1. Therefore, the force experienced is opposite to the direction of magnetic field. And when theta is equal into 90 degree, that is, charge is moving perpendicular to the magnetic field. Sine 90 is 1. Therefore, charge experience maximum force, that is QVB. And we can also study that if charge is at rest, that is velocity is 0, then also there is no force experienced by charge. That is, by this we can conclude that source of magnetic field is only moving charges, whereas source of electric field is static as well as moving charges. Now by this formula we can calculate the value of B, that is F is equal to QVB sin theta. Therefore B is equal to F by QV sin theta. Or from this formula we can find the value, we can find the definition also of magnetic field. When 1 coulomb of charge is moving with unit velocity, that is with 1 meter per second velocity, and perpendicular to magnetic field, then force experienced is equal to magnetic field, or the magnetic field is equal to the force experienced by a charge. Now units of magnetic field. SI unit of magnetic field is one is Tesla, it's a bigger unit. Tesla can also be written as Weber per meter square or Newton upon ampere meter. CGS or EMU unit or electromagnetic unit. That is, EMU unit is Gauss, denoted by capital G. It's a smaller unit, and 1 Gauss is equal to 10 raised to the power minus 4 Tesla. Now how can we calculate the direction of force? Direction of the force which is experienced by a test charge can be calculated by Fleming left hand rule or right hand palm rule. Fleming left hand rule is forefinger of left hand gives direction of magnetic field, central finger gives direction of current or velocity, then force is given by thumb, the direction of force. This you can remember by here thumb is considered as father. This is for remembrance only. Magnetic field can be remembered as mother, and central finger, that is current, can be remembered as child. So father, mother, child. Now you will never forget. Now see, here as we have calculated the value of force equal to QVB sine theta. Now in uniform magnetic field, let us suppose positive charge is placed and moving with velocity v. So what is the direction of force experienced by this positive charge? If it is moving with velocity v in magnetic field B, so we know that in electrostatics we have studied that positive charge has direction from in radially outward direction. That is the motion or the movement of a charge in radially outward direction. So we will consider it is in this way. This is the magnetic field. This is the radially outward direction of current. So thumb points in upward direction. So the force experienced by positive charge is in upward direction. Similarly, if negative charge is there, so negative direction is radially inward. So velocity will be in radially inward direction. So here the force experienced is in downward direction. Velocity in inward direction, so force is downward in negative case. Direction of force can also be calculated by right hand palm rule. In right hand palm rule, palm gives the direction of force. In right hand palm rule, when fingers of right hand points magnetic field and thumb points current or velocity, then palm gives direction of force. If magnetic field is in this direction, velocity is perpendicular to it in this direction and force is in outward direction. That is, palm gives the direction of force. So these are the two ways by which we can calculate the direction of force. Now, how can we calculate the direction of magnetic field? Direction of magnetic field can be calculated by rules Fleming. Right hand thumb rule, or by Maxwell's corkscrew rule. Let us suppose we are holding a current carrying conductor in our right hand in such a way that the thumb points in the direction of magnetic field, then the encircled direction of force, then the encircled fingers will give the direction of magnetic field. Similarly, if thumb gives the direction of magnetic field, then encircled fingers will give the direction of uh, current. That is, let's see if the direction of current in any circular coil, the direction of current is out of the plane of a paper. That is, in this way. We are holding a conductor and its direction is radially, it is in outward direction. Then the fingers and circle is in this way. That is anti-clockwise direction. And this anti-clockwise direction gives direction of magnetic field. And this is out of plane of paper. Current is out of a plane of paper. The direction of magnetic field is always given by a tangent drawn at a point on concentric circles. Tangent give direction. Now similarly, when the current is into the plane of a paper, that is in this way. So now the magnetic field is in clockwise direction, and into the plane of paper is denoted by cross and circled. Clockwise for magnetic field and tangent give the direction of magnetic field here, and this is into the plane of a paper. This you can remember with the help of a arrow or a bow. In an arrow, the point shows the direction of out of the plane of paper, and this denotes the cross sign, that is into the plane. So you can remember by this also, direction of magnetic field. Similarly, by corkscrew rule also we can find the direction of magnetic field. Consider a screw. The movement of a screw gives the direction of current, or when the current passes in a screw, then the direction in which the screw advances or moves is the direction of current. Then the direction in which thumb rotates gives the direction of magnetic field. That is, when we tight the screw in such a way, then the screw is advancing or moving in forward direction. So this is considered as the direction of current, and where the thumb rotates gives the direction of magnetic field. So here the direction is clockwise. Clockwise for magnetic field. Similarly, if the screw advancing in opposite direction, the screw gives the direction of current, and the direction in which thumb rotates gives the direction of magnetic field. Here it is, we are tightening the screw. We can see when we close a tab, then it is in this way. So here thumb is in clockwise direction. Similarly, when we are loosening the screw, so it is in anti-clockwise direction. So direction in which the thumb rotates gives the direction of magnetic field. Clockwise and anti-clockwise. So this is the way by which we can calculate the direction of magnetic field. Now we have studied about into the plane of paper and out of the plane of paper. Now consider a current carrying coil in which the current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction. Now find the direction of magnetic field. It is in this way. Anti-clockwise direction the current is flowing. So as we have studied that if according to our right hand thumb rule, if the direction of magnetic field is given by the fingers, then the thumb will give the direction of magnetic field. Now here the fingers are giving the direction of current, and so the direction of magnetic field is outward. So here we can draw the magnetic lines of force. At the center of a coil, the lines are uniform, and here it is in the concentric circle, because the magnetic field lines are more at ends. Now the directions are out of the plane. Or we can see that a current carrying coil shows two poles, that is, two magnetic dipoles are formed when the current flows in a current carrying wire, and when the current is flowing in clockwise direction, so it denotes south pole of a magnet, and when the current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction, then it denotes north polarity of a magnet. And as we have seen that if in a current carrying coil, if the current flows in a clockwise direction, and when we will see it at this end, then it will be a south pole. And if we will see at this end and the current is flowing in a clockwise direction, so it seems as in anti-clockwise direction by this end. So here we can say that the current carrying coil consists two magnetic dipoles in it, or it behaves as a magnetic dipole. Thus current carrying coil behaves as a magnetic dipole. Similarly, if the current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction, clockwise direction, then the current is in radially, it is in inward direction. Next topic is Biot-Savart law. This law was given by two French physicists, Biot and Savart. He gave relationship between current and magnetic field. He considered a finite current carrying element, and at distance r, that is position vector or displacement vector is r vector, and at point P we have to calculate the value of magnetic field. Let current I is flowing in upward direction in this current carrying wire, and he considered a small current element, and this current element is denoted by I into dl vector. dl is a small line segment having small length l, uh, and its direction is tangent to the wire, and the angle between this tangent, that is dl vector, and r cap is theta. So according to Biot-Savart, magnetic field at point P is directly proportional to the current flowing through a wire and directly proportional to a small line segment dl, directly proportional to the angle between dl vector and r vector, and inversely proportional to the square of distance. Combining all these factors, we get dB is equal to I dl sine theta by r square. And its proportionality constant is k, and the value of k in SI units is equal to mu naught by 4 pi. Mu naught upon 4 pi, where mu naught is a constant called permeability of free space. And in CGS units, value of k is 1. In SI, k is equal to mu naught by 4 pi, and in CGS, k is equal to 1. So here dB is equal to mu naught by 4 pi ideal sine theta by r square, and in CGS dB is equals to ideal sine theta by r square. Now write it in vector form. dB vector can be written as mu naught upon 4 pi I dl cross r cap, dl vector and r cap upon r square. On further simplifying it, we can write I dl cross r vector by r cube, as we know that r cap is r vector by magnitude of r, that is We have substituted the value. So this is the value of magnetic field due to a small current carrying element, and the direction of this magnetic field is perpendicular to this current element. That is, we can find the direction of magnetic field by right hand screw rule or right hand rule. That is, if the screw is in this direction where the current moves, the screw moves in this direction, so thumb gives the direction of magnetic field. So dl cross r gives the direction in this way into the plane of a paper. Or you can find it by right hand rule. That is, dl cross r, the direction of magnetic field is inward. Similarly, if this point P lies at this end, this is r vector and point P is in this direction. So by right hand rule, though this is dl element, angle between dl vector and r cap is theta now. So the direction is up in upward direction, that is out of the plane of a paper. Here the value of mu naught is given as mu naught is equal to 4 pi into 10 raised to the power minus 7 Weber per ampere per meter. By this we can find the value of a unit of uh, permeability of free space, and it can also be written as 4 pi into 10 raised to the power minus 7 Weber upon meter square is 1 Tesla. So we will multiply and divide by meter here. So we'll get Weber upon meter square into meter per ampere. That is 4 pi into 10 raised to the power minus 7 Tesla per ampere meter. And the magnetic field due to this whole current carrying conductor is given by the integration of this small magnetic field. B is equal to integration, that is line integral over this magnetic field, and its value is equal to mu naught by 4 pi I dl sine theta by r square. Some points we need to keep in mind about Biot-Savart law, that this law is valid for symmetrical current distribution only. Symmetrical current distribution. And it is valid for small length conductor. We cannot verify this Biot-Savart law because the length which we will take is a very small length, which is not possible uh, experimentally or practically. small current element not available. And the direction of this dB is perpendicular to current element and r vector. Direction of small magnetic field due to current element is perpendicular to current element ideal and displacement vector r vector. dB is minimum if the point where magnetic field we are calculating lies on axis of a conductor, because now the r vector will be 0. So point lies on axis of conductor and the angle will become now 0 degree, that is parallel to current and anti-parallel to current. So magnetic field will be 0 and it will be maximum when the point lies perpendicular to current element.